girls, you're welcome to yet another edition of Talklawnaija. For today, I am your host, Margaret Tochi, and we do hope that you enjoy this episode. We'll be talking about assault and battery. And assault is the threat to apply force or harm to a person with the present abilities of effecting the threat, whilst battery is force, contact, or bodily harm, causing bodily harm to a person. I want us to understand that assault is both a crime and a tort. Yes. Whilst under the law of torts, assault entails causing the person to be in fear of being battered. Under criminal law, it entails both the threat of putting a person in fear of being battered and also having the ability to effect it and also effecting it. So under criminal law, the definition of assault entails both the elements of battery and assault under tort. Now, for a person who has been assaulted, you can decide to bring your actions under criminal law or civil law, and it is more advisable to bring your action under civil law where the tortfeasor or his employer is creditworthy. That means the person is able to pay money for damages or compensation. But if that's not the case, then it is better you bring the action under criminal law so the person can be punished for his actions. However, under other sophisticated jurisdictions, we see that there is actually no need bringing the action under criminal law and under civil law, because under criminal law you can also be compensated, can also be awarded damages, and the person will be punished under criminal law. For example, by the provisions of the English Criminal Justice Act of 1988, which is being administered by the English Criminal Injuries Compensation Board, we see that this is the case. So there's no need bringing two suits for the same matter. You could just institute one and then you get both the damages and compensation. I want us to understand that there are various examples of assault. Assault can be where a person threatens to slap you, a person threatens to beat you, to kill you, to hurt you. All these amounts to assault. But there are certain elements that have to be proven before a person can establish assault. First is that there must be a threat to apply force, and the second is that the other person, the victim, has been put in a position of fear. I want us to understand also that the position of fear is not as to the particular person, but a reasonable man's standard. So if I am threatened and I am not scared, probably a person points a gun at me and I am not scared, they will call to look at it. If a reasonable person is put under the same situation, if a normal man, an adult, a child is put under the same situation, what would be the person's reaction? If it will create fear or an apprehension of assault or battery, then we know that it can succeed under assault. And for the procedure to be instituted under criminal law, the state can institute such action through the police in order to maintain law and order in society and for the purpose of public policy. But for the civil proceedings, it has to be the person that institutes the action for the civil proceeding. In the case of Array against Barrett, in that case, we see Barrett who approached the other person. He was wringing his fist and his face was cold with anger, and the other person was scared. And the court held that he has created reasonable apprehension of being battered in this other person, and he was held to be liable for assault. Battery, on the other hand, like I said, is the actual application of force on this person. It will be by body contact, whether it is violent or not, as long as it is without consent and it is not legally justified, then it could amount to battery. So where someone hits me by my consent, I cannot bring action against the person for battery. Or where the person is legally justified, for example, a police officer, where you've been taken to court for an action and you've been found guilty and now the police is hitting you. When you are out of imprisonment, you cannot come to bring action against the court or against the police for battery, because the law justifies that act. Also, you cannot bring action against a medical practitioner for medical care, where probably the person is touching you, trying to check your blood pulse and other areas, and you're like, I don't want this. You cannot bring action against the person, because the law looks at the intent of the practitioner. It is at your best interest. He's trying to treat you, she's trying to treat you, so you cannot bring action against such a person for battery. However, if you're able to prove that, okay, I was sick with headache and I went to the hospital and the doctor was just harassing me, trying to touch my private organs, then we can say, but if that's not the case and you're not able to prove this, then you cannot bring action and succeed against a medical practitioner for that. And there are also certain examples of battery. For example, there's a case in the case of Aru against Martin, where he went to shut the exit door, he put an iron bar, put off the light, and then screamed, fire, fire! And everybody in the hall rushed out, and they were heading towards the exit door. And whilst the light was off, in that moment, some persons got injured, persons were hit beyond repair, and the court said he is liable for battery. So in that instance, we see he has hurt somebody, he has applied force, he has by action done something to the persons, and the court held him liable for battery. We have to understand also that there are two elements of battery. The first is the actual application of that threat, actual application of force to a person or harm to a person, and the second is the intention to apply. So where a person actually hurts you or intends to so do, then you could bring the action under battery and then you can succeed. Like I said, assault is both a crime and a tort. And by provision of section 252 of the Criminal Code, we see that the law has provided that the ability to effect the threat should either be actual or apparent. It is actual where the person has the present ability to effect it, and it is apparent where the fear that has been induced now makes the other person think he is able to effect it. For instance, when a person points a gun at you, it is actual if the gun is actually loaded and able to kill you. It is apparent if the gun is unloaded or a toy gun it is. As long as the person has made you afraid and you had an apprehension of fear, you can then say that the ability was either apparent or you could say it's actual. So when you go to court and you plead, my lord, the gun I pointed at him was unloaded, or it was even a toy gun, the court will infer that since the ability is apparent, you could still go in for assault. Now, by the provisions of section 335 of the code, we see that any assault that amounts to grievous bodily harm is a felony and causes liability of 7 years imprisonment, whilst by the provisions of section 338 of the same criminal code, if the person intentionally causes wound to another person, or administers poison, or the person causes another person to administer poison to a person, the law provides for 3 years imprisonment. To my mind, I feel the law should be amended. Yes, the criminal code should be amended. For a person who intentionally causes wound, injuries to a person, I could understand if he is given 3 years imprisonment. But for a person that administered poison or has caused another to administer poison, it should come under that of 7 years imprisonment or more, because it causes harm, grievous bodily harm to the person. So, where we have told you that damages can be awarded to the victim if it's in order sophisticated jurisdictions. I also propose that in Nigeria, assault should be given that advantage. The person who is assaulted and brings it under criminal law should also be able to get both the damages and also the penalties of imprisonment and all that should be awarded against the other person. So we don't have to see persons bringing the same case of assault under criminal law and other civil law. This is my take on assault and battery. And we know that the purpose of the law of assault and battery is to protect society. People don't go around threatening others, causing fear, putting fear in people, and also going ahead to effect the threat because they are able to so do. That's why the law is there, to maintain order, security, law, and peace in society. So this is like a call out to those of us out there who are very quick to anger, and so you demonstrate your anger in public, you impute fear in people, you threaten to do things and all that. Somebody can actually institute action against you, either under assault or under battery, depending on the action you have showcased. If the person is scared by your acts, and if you are actually gone ahead to effect it, then be sure that the law is there to take action against you. I'm sure you have your questions, I'm sure you have your reactions to this wonderful time. So please do well to write your comments, do well to share this video so it can go out there to everyone out there. Do well to like, do well to subscribe, most importantly. Thank you very much for watching this wonderful edition of Talklawnaija. I sure had a good time with you all. For now, have a wonderful week.